There's something uniquely chilling about a photograph. Unlike a story or a rumor, a photo is supposed to be proof, evidence that what you're seeing really happened, that the impossible left a mark on the world. But what if that proof is something you wish you could unsee? Tonight, I'm taking you on a journey through the 9 scariest real-life ghost photos ever captured. These aren't just blurry shapes or tricks of the light. These are images that have been studied, debated, and feared for decades. And when you get to number 6, you might just start questioning everything you know about reality. Let's start with a photo that's become a legend in the world of the paranormal, the Brown Lady of Raynham Hall. Taken in 1936 by photographers working for Country Life magazine, this image shows a grand staircase in an old English manor and a translucent figure gliding down the steps. The Brown Lady, as she's known, is said to be the ghost of Lady Dorothy Walpole, who died under mysterious circumstances in the 1700s. Skeptics have tried to debunk the photo for years, but no one has ever explained the eerie, veiled woman who appears to float above the stairs. Even today, visitors to Raynham Hall report cold spots and the feeling of being watched, as if the Brown Lady is still keeping an eye on her home. The second photo comes from a family in New Hampshire who snapped a picture of their young daughter playing in the living room. When they developed the film, they noticed a shadowy figure standing behind her, a tall, thin man in old-fashioned clothes, his face obscured by darkness. The family swore no one else was in the house that day, and the figure didn't appear in any other photos. Paranormal investigators who studied the image said the figure's proportions were all wrong, as if he wasn't quite human. The family moved out soon after, convinced that something was haunting their home. Next, we travel to Australia, where a group of friends visited the historic Airedale Lunatic Asylum. The asylum is infamous for its dark history and countless ghost stories, but nothing prepared the group for what they captured on camera. In one photo, taken in a long, empty hallway, a pale face can be seen peering out from a doorway. The face is gaunt, with hollow eyes and a twisted mouth, and no one in the group recognized it. The asylum staff confirmed that the room was locked and empty at the time. The photo quickly went viral, with viewers around the world debating whether it was a hoax or genuine evidence of a restless spirit. The fourth photo is one of the most famous ghost images ever taken, the Tulip Staircase Ghost. In 1966, a Canadian reverend named Ralph Hardy was visiting the National Maritime Museum in Greenwich, England. He took a photo of the ornate tulip staircase, hoping to capture its beauty. But when the film was developed, he saw something he hadn't noticed at the time: a shrouded figure climbing the stairs, one hand gripping the railing. Experts analyzed the photo and found no evidence of tampering. The museum staff later revealed that visitors and employees had reported seeing a ghostly woman on the stairs for years, often accompanied by the sound of footsteps and soft weeping. The fifth photo comes from a battlefield in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, one of the most haunted places in America. A tourist snapped a picture of the empty field at dusk, hoping to capture the sunset. But when he looked at the image later, he saw a group of shadowy figures standing among the trees, soldiers in Civil War uniforms, their faces blurred and indistinct. The tourist was alone at the time, and no reenactments were scheduled that day. Paranormal experts believe the photo is one of the clearest examples of a residual haunting, where the energy of a traumatic event is imprinted on a place and replays itself over and over. Now we come to number 6, the photo that will make you question reality. This image was taken by a security guard at a hotel in Japan, who was investigating reports of strange noises on the upper floors. He snapped a picture of an empty hallway, but when he looked at the photo, he saw a little girl standing at the end of the corridor. She was wearing a white dress, her hair covering her face, and her feet didn't quite touch the ground. The guard swore the hallway was empty when he took the photo, and security footage confirmed that no one had entered or left the area. The image was sent to experts, who found no signs of digital manipulation. The hotel has since become a hotspot for ghost hunters, but many refuse to stay on the floor where the photo was taken. Some say the girl is the spirit of a child who died in the hotel decades ago, while others believe she's something much older and much more dangerous. The seventh photo is from a church in England, where a parishioner was taking pictures of the altar during a wedding rehearsal. In one image, a figure in a hooded robe can be seen standing in the aisle, head bowed. The church was empty at the time, and no one present recognized the figure. The photo was sent to the local diocese, who confirmed that the church had a long history of ghost sightings, including reports of a monk who appears during times of trouble. The parishioner who took the photo said she felt a sudden chill as she snapped the picture and later found a strange bruise on her arm. The eighth photo comes from a family in Texas who were celebrating a birthday in their backyard. They took a group photo, but when they looked at the image, they saw a face peering out from behind a tree, a face that didn't belong to anyone at the party. The face was pale, with dark eyes and a twisted grin, and seemed to be watching the family with malicious intent. The family had never experienced anything paranormal before, but after the photo was taken, they reported a series of strange events: doors slamming, objects moving on their own, and the feeling of being watched. The ninth and final photo is perhaps the most unsettling of all. It was taken by a woman visiting her grandmother's grave in Louisiana. She snapped a picture of the headstone, but when she looked at the photo, she saw a translucent figure standing beside the grave, a woman in a long dress, her face blurred but unmistakably sad. The woman's family believes it was the spirit of the grandmother, saying goodbye one last time. But others who have seen the photo say the figure doesn't look quite human, and that this cemetery has a reputation for being haunted by something much older than any of the graves. These 9 photos are more than just images. They're windows into a world we can't explain, proof that sometimes the impossible leaves a mark. And if you're brave enough to keep looking, you might just find that reality is stranger and scarier than you ever imagined. For those who have seen these photos, the fear doesn't fade when the screen goes dark. It lingers, a chill that creeps into the corners of your mind, a question that refuses to be answered. What if the camera really does capture more than we can see? What if these images are proof that the world is stranger and more haunted than we want to believe? After the Brown Lady of Raynham Hall, countless visitors have tried to capture their own ghostly images on the grand staircase. Some leave with nothing but blurry photos and goosebumps, but a few have reported seeing a shadow flicker at the edge of the frame or feeling a cold hand brush their shoulder as they snap a picture. The legend has only grown, and the photo remains one of the most hotly debated pieces of paranormal evidence in history. The family in New Hampshire who caught the shadowy man behind their daughter never felt safe in their home again. They tried to rationalize what they saw. Maybe it was a trick of the light. Maybe someone had slipped inside without them noticing. But the fear was real, and the sense of being watched never left. They moved out within a year, and the house sat empty for months before anyone else dared to move in. The photo still circulates online, a warning to anyone who thinks their home is safe from the unknown. At Airedale Lunatic Asylum, the group of friends who captured the pale face in the doorway became obsessed with finding answers. They returned to the asylum with more cameras, more equipment, and more questions. But every time they tried to recreate the photo, nothing happened. The face never appeared again, and the room remained empty. Some say the spirit was trying to send a message. Others believe it was a one-time glimpse into another world. The friends still talk about that night, and none of them have ever set foot in the asylum again. The Tulip Staircase ghost has inspired countless ghost hunters to visit the National Maritime Museum, hoping to catch a glimpse of a shrouded figure. Some claim to have heard footsteps echoing on the stairs, or to have seen a woman in old-fashioned dress gliding past the railing. The museum staff have grown used to the stories, and some even believe the ghost is a guardian spirit, watching over the historic building. But others aren't so sure, and the photo remains a source of fascination and fear for anyone who sees it. The Gettysburg battlefield is a place where history and haunting go hand in hand. The tourist who captured the shadowy soldiers among the trees became a minor celebrity in the paranormal world, his photo analyzed by experts and skeptics alike. Some believe the image is proof of a residual haunting, a moment in time replaying itself over and over. Others think it's a trick of the light or a case of wishful thinking. But for those who have visited Gettysburg and felt the weight of the past pressing in, the photo is a reminder that some battles never truly end. The hotel in Japan where the security guard captured the image of the little girl has become a destination for thrill seekers and ghost hunters from around the world. Some guests report hearing laughter in the empty hallways or seeing a flash of white at the end of the corridor. A few have even claimed to see the girl herself,
standing just out of reach, her hair covering her face. The hotel staff are divided. Some believe the photo is a hoax, while others refuse to go near the floor where it was taken. The image has never been explained, and those who have seen it in person say it's impossible to forget. The church in England where the hooded figure appeared has become a place of pilgrimage for those seeking proof of the supernatural. The parishioner who took the photos still attends services, but she always sits near the back, never quite comfortable in the presence of the unknown. The local diocese has embraced the mystery, using the photo as a reminder that faith and fear often walk hand in hand. The family in Texas who saw the face behind the tree have since moved, but the photo remains a part of their story. They still talk about the night it was taken, about the strange events that followed, about the feeling of being watched. The new owners of the house have reported their own strange experiences, doors that slam on their own, lights that flicker, and the occasional glimpse of a pale face at the window. And the woman who captured the translucent figure at her grandmother's grave has never been able to explain what she saw. She keeps the photo in a drawer, only taking it out on rare occasions. Some days, she believes it was her grandmother saying goodbye. Other days, she wonders if it was something else, something older, something that's always been there, waiting in the shadows. What ties these photos together isn't just the fear they inspire, it's the way they make us question reality. In a world where everything can be faked, where every image can be manipulated, these photos stand out because they refuse to be explained away. They linger in our minds, haunting us long after we've looked away. If you're listening to these stories and thinking, it's just a trick of the light, just a coincidence, just a story, remember that every person who took these photos thought the same thing. The most important lesson is to keep an open mind, to respect the unknown, and to remember that sometimes the scariest things are the ones we can't explain. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the 9 scariest real-life ghost photos ever captured. If you have a story of your own, a photo you can't explain, or a moment when reality seemed to slip, share it in the comments. You never know who might need to hear it, who might find comfort in knowing they're not alone. Stay curious, trust your instincts, and remember, sometimes the scariest stories are the ones that could happen to any of us.